Hello, in this part we are going to learn about vectors in C++. A vector is a dynamic array, meaning it can grow and shrink in size automatically. So vectors are part of the standard template library, are also known as STL, and they are very commonly used in real C++ programs. Okay, so to use vectors we must include the vector header. Okay, the vector header. Let us take a look at how we can include it. So we use the preprocessor directive like that, and then we want to include, what do we want to include? We want to include the vector like that. Okay, so from there we can now use vectors. Okay, so the vector, this one, the vector library gives us access to all vector features. Okay, so let us now take a look at how we can create a vector. So let's create a simple vector of integers. Okay, so inside we want to create a vector, but this vector is going to be of int. Okay, so we use angle brackets. Okay, angle brackets like that, and then we want to name it numbers like that. Then we add a semicolon like that. Okay, so a vector int means a vector that stores integers, and numbers is the name of our vector, and at this point a vector is empty. Okay, so let us now take a look at how we can add elements. So we add elements to a vector using the pushback function. Okay, so we can do it like this. We can go down and we say numbers dot pushback. Okay, we use that function pushback, and then we want to add, let us add 10. Then let us just copy this line. We copy, we paste it multiple times like that. Let us only paste it two times, and let me change Control Z. Let me change 10 to 20, and then 10 to 30 like that. Okay, then from there I'm sorry guys, then from there we can output, let us access. So to access a value we use index. Okay, to access a value from our vector we use indexes, and we know that indexes we start counting when we are working with indexes, we start counting from 0. Okay, so let us call our vector numbers, and then we access using indexes, and let us access the first element. Okay, then from there the first integer. So from there let us save, and if we try to compile, after compiling we try to run, as you can see we get 10. Okay, so the pushback function adds elements to the end of the vector, and indexing starts from 0, and here we get 10. Okay, if we try to access the first element using 0, we get 10. Okay, so let us now take a look at how we can access vector elements. So we can access vector elements just like arrays. Okay, so for example, let me try to change this one from 0 so that we can take a look at what we can access next. If I try to compile and I try to run, as you can see we get 20. Okay, we get 20, and I can access the next one. Okay, which is the last in this case. I try to compile and I try to run, we get 30. Okay, so this prints the third element, and output here we get 30. Okay, so vectors also provide the safer at function. Okay, so instead of using square brackets, we can use this function called at. Okay, which is more safer, and here we provide in what we provide in. So here are the index of the element for which data should be accessed. So here our underscore n is the index, as you can see here is the index. Okay, and is of type size t. Okay, so let us provide 2 like that. If we try to save and we try to compile, after compiling let us try to run, as you can see we get 30. Okay, as in the previous run. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry guys. So to know how many elements are in a vector, we use the size function. Okay, so we can use it like this. We can just say dot size like that, and we try to save, After saving, we try to compile. After compiling, we run. As you can see, we have 3. So size returns the number of elements in this case, which is 3. Okay, so let us take a look at how we can loop through a vector. So vectors are often used with loops. Okay, so let us take a look at how we can loop through. So let us try to remove this line. We can now use the for loop. Let us use the for loop. Let us initialize I, which is, and we set it to be equals to 0. Let us try to use this condition that if I is less than numbers dot size. Okay, using our size function, and from there let us try to update our I. Okay, so yes, we update it like that. Then from there we try to output. Let us output our, let us try, should we use index at, should we use at, or we should use square brackets? Whatever you want, but let's use square brackets like that. We try to save and we try to compile. After compiling, we try to run. As you can see, we get 10, 20 and 30. Okay, so if we want to format it very well, we can use the end L to move the cursor to the next line. For every output, we try to compile. As you can see, we get 10, 20 and 30 like that. So the loop runs from index 0 to size. Okay, to size, which is here in this case, which is 2. Yeah, I think, which is the size is 3. Okay, up to 3. Okay, but here we have set our I to be less than 3, which means we are going to end at index 2. Okay, which is what we want. Okay, so let us now take a look at how we can remove elements. So to remove elements, the last element from a vector, we use the pop back. Okay, so we can use it like this. Let us try to remove. Okay, so let us try to use the pop back, so we can get our numbers dot pop back like that. Okay, then from there let us try to output our size using numbers cout. Then we want to get the size, numbers dot size like that. Add a semicolon, try to save, and then we try to compile. After compiling, let us try to run. As you can see, now the size is 2. We only have 2 elements. Okay, so the last element is removed and vector size decreases by 1. Okay, so let us take a look at why we use vectors. So vectors are better than arrays because they resize automatically. They provide useful functions, and they are safer and easier to manage. Okay, so in summary, vectors are dynamic arrays in C++. So we learned how to create vectors, add elements, access values, loop through them, and remove elements. So vectors are one of the most important data structures in C++. If you enjoyed this part, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next part.